welcome back to Libib's booktube channel. My name is Kaylin, and today I thought I would do a fun, interesting book that literally encompasses my entire life. And that is Chipotle! I love Chipotle so much, so I figured what better video to film than books and Chipotle, because Chipotle is my life! So I went down to the local Chipotle, and I'm just gonna run through my order real quick. Here is the baby itself. I personally love bowls the most because I feel like I get the most food and I can pack the most food in it and I don't have to worry about it falling apart. I ended up going through the line and getting a bowl, which is 2 scoops of white rice. Got a little bit of veggies. I also got some steak, and then I always get the medium salsa, lots of cheese, and lettuce. And then I also got chips and salsa. I got medium and hot, so my mouth may be on fire. So let's get through this video and let's get through some questions. So with my Chipotle order, I'm just going off questions from that. So I always get 2 scoops of white rice. And what is the foundation to my reading? The foundation to my reading is definitely going to be Harry Potter, Team Gryffindor, of course, but I also really love Twilight, and I think Twilight definitely got me kicked into gear to falling in love with reading and really getting passionate about it in middle school up until like high school and even now, and I think Twilight reignited that passion for love of reading. So for the type of meat I had steak, and this is a book that has a lot to offer. A book that has a lot to offer, I think, is The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexander Bracken. I think it is definitely a smidge bit better than The Darkest Minds, and man, I love The Darkest Minds. But I think this book has a lot to offer. Even though it's middle grade, I definitely see it as a young adult book. The hype behind it is so real for me. I wish everyone would go read this book because I am just pumped to read the second book in the duology, which comes out, I think, March now? January or March, sometime of next year. And I think this book duology has so much to explore and so much is going on, and I just was like, I need to figure out, I need to find out. Like, it just has so much to offer, especially with the fall scenery and what's going on with everything. Next up is Veggies, and I think the veggies are literally a hit or miss at Chipotle sometimes. Hashtag truth, hashtag I kinda sometimes get them, but today I decided to go for them. I just get a little bit because if I get too much, it's just overpowering of onions and I'm like, ugh, onion breath. But I think veggies are kinda just there. So a book that is just there for me, and that was a book that I read earlier this year, and that was the 13 Tales of Villery by 13 authors and 13 booktubers. I think anthologies are just they're just there for me. I either really like some of the stories in them, or I don't like some of the stories, or they're just alright. So I feel like veggies are just alright. And I always get medium salsa, so that kind of means a book that has spiced up my life, and I always think about this book and I need to just go back, maybe reread it and pick up the sequel and the 3rd book in this series, because the 4th book comes out sometime next year and I'm gonna have to read that. And that book being An Ember in the Ashes by Sabata here. And I can't stop thinking about this book all the time and I love it so much. So cheers to this book that just always makes me think of like how great the world was and how great the characters were and how immersed I got into it. And that was like at least 2 years ago or more that I originally picked up this book. I just need to hop on and read the sequels already. But I just, I love this book so much. Ow, I hit my funny bone. I moved our Chipotle bag to the back so I can have more room to use my hands for show and tell. Next up is lots of cheese. I love Chipotle's cheese so much, and that's what gives me so much life is the Chipotle cheese. It's so great and so good, and I always ask, please load that baby up. And with cheese, lots of cheese, I think of like a nice, good, wholesome book that just makes you fill up with just utter complete happiness. There's nothing wrong with cheese. Cheese is just life, unless you're like lactose intolerant, then it's not. But for this question, I'm going to go with Fate Blood by Whitney Gardner, and I cannot give this book enough praise because it is nothing but good wholesomeness. The characters, the entire book is just this one happy, cute place that it's like cheese and I'll never be able to leave it. Next up is lettuce, and since lettuce is fluff and light, I'm gonna have to go with a light and fluffy read, and I'm gonna go with the 100 book series. Even though it wasn't my like favorite series overall, it was nice to read and compare it to the TV show as well. I think this book was just a quick read and I was just like bam, 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 got all the books read, and it was like a light fluffy read. There's some action and adventure and people getting slaughtered, but you know, just a typical book. But I liked how quick and light these books were. Next up is Hot Sauce. Hot Sauce. I love you, Chipotle, smoked hot sauce. And this is a book that is spooky and like terrifyingly hot. I'm gonna go with my favorite horror YA novels of all time, The Merciless and The Merciless 4. These books were bomb.com and it is spicy from start to finish. And so I think that these two books would be great for Hot Sauce because Hot Sauce is just spicy from start to finish, and so are these books. Next up is Chips and Salsa. And with this I said a book that you could snack on forever, and even though I don't know if I could like snack on this series forever now, Pretty Little Liars, if they ever got really interesting again, I would totally read those books forever and for always because you're like, who's the killer? Who's doing this? I gotta keep reading, and it would take me like a couple of days to like get into the beginning of the book, but then like it would take me 1 or 2 days to finish it. So I always read like a Pretty Little Liar book each week when I was reading them way back in the day. But I absolutely loved and enjoyed them. I loved how mysterious and thrillerish they were, and it was such a great series. And I read all the books in the series, which is 18 if you include the novella books that are also in the series. So that was a hefty series, and I think that's a very, very, very long series. So Chips and Salsa, snacking on them for days, reading those Pretty Little Liar books for the rest of my life. Well, anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna go chow down on my Chipotle now because I am starving. So anyways, that is going to be it for this week's bookish video. I plan on tagging a couple people since this is an original book tag. I'm going to tag Kat from Catty-tastic and Reagan from Peru's Project and anyone else who wants to do this video. Have fun, eat Chipotle, live your best life. And anyways, if you let me know in the comment section down below what is your favorite Chipotle menu item or what do you order, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next Thursday for a new bookish video.